ask
you done? Sir, are you done? Okay. Are you done?
So, if something smells like a duck, walk like a duck, and look like a duck, it's a duck, right? I mean, so the resolution of accommodation, it had the words resolution accommodation on it, and it was not listed on the city council policy for recognition request. So the wording is exactly an official resolution, and it looks like a resolution, and it's a resolution accommodation, then it must be a resolution. The city council approval and the mayor.
Councilman Doe, I think that I already mentioned at the beginning. However, I'd like to ask city attorney to explain again before I respond. But I mean, after that, I don't want, we discuss this item because we don't have that in agenda. So, city attorney, is there any word that you can repeat one more time that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the meeting that I have acted within and in accordance to our city adopted policy?
Let me indicate, I guess, 3 or 4 things.
And can you explain the word resolution commendation so Councilmember Doe could able to understand that?
Let me begin by indicating that as regards Mr. Doe's comments, as elected official, he has the right to make those comments. So he's not out of order to make those comments during this process. Secondly, with regard to the question of resolutions, commendations, they're not found under the law with respect to official actions of the city in terms of a legal binding nature. They're essentially driven by council policy, and therefore, as we discuss such things as resolutions, where there's ambiguities, it calls out for a clarification of the policy. And it seems to me if there's a debate amongst the council regarding what the policy is, the answer is to clarify that policy so all 5 of you and the community understand what the policy is. There's been a tradition in this city that goes back many, many years with respect to resolutions of commendation and certificates of commendation, which are, again, generally characterized as ceremonial in nature. They don't carry with it legal significance, nor do we as a law office analyze their content because they have no legal significance. But to the extent that they are offered out in the community, historically this community has allowed the mayor to exercise that authority independent and without necessarily getting council approval based on tradition and to a certain degree based on policy. But again, I think there is ambiguity in that policy, and I think to the extent the council is aware of this concern over the use of these types of documents, an appropriate and clarified policy is totally appropriate, and we certainly can bring back such a policy. And again, that would be more appropriate for another council meeting because then you're asking for direction and giving us guidance as to how, as staff, we should respond. But certainly pointing out the issue is not inappropriate. But again, it is a policy question. It's within your authority to clarify that policy, and you can lawfully do so. What's occurred to date is consistent with prior practices. Are there ambiguities in it? I would acknowledge there's ambiguities in that policy.
All right, so thank you so much. And next, Vice Mayor Ho.
Yes. Change the subject a little bit. I'd like to